What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the In the Dome podcast. Last week it was the Coronado show. This week it's the Dustin Wolf show. Gets his first shutout. He basically had back-to-back shutouts. You telling me that was a goal against the Kings?
Give me a break, dude.
Conclusive evidence, my left nut.
My ball sack. That was conclusive evidence. What are you talking about? Why is it all these goal calls always go against us? Well, for all intents and purposes, he absolutely had back-to-back shutouts. Ridiculous call.
There were people online who was like,
don't care.
I agree with the call.
Yeah, well, screw
how?
you.
What replay? And is it not the refs down there looking at the tiny little iPads that are making the call? Because they're down there looking at tiny little iPads. So unless they're just doing that for show and they get the call from somewhere else, I believe that the refs make the call.
Well, you know that the NHL office in Toronto does have there's just a big button, a big screw Calgary button.
Fuck you, Calgary button.
Yeah, there's just a huge, giant red. Every time the Flames score a goal or there's a potential goal score, it's just how can we screw the Flames tonight, boys? And that was just this week's installment of it.
So I guess one is meant to surmise. You have to mentally visualize where the goal line would be, because there's a little freeze frame where the puck's on an angle, but you can't really, there's no line of demarcation where the puck begins and ends.
Ridiculous.
So you have to use your mental imagination in order to picture where it would be. And we're told that
sounds
that's
right.
Sounds
like a great standard to set,
And that's conclusive these days,
Great.
Robbed
of back-to-back.
Even if you did follow this, because after the fact, they show a couple overhead replays, and the goal line is not in line with the crossbar either. It's not. It's like set back. So there's even less space for the puck to completely cross over the line. I just don't understand how. And if those refs or the broadcast or Toronto head office has definitive evidence, why can't we see it? You're telling me
it's in their secret screw Calgary file.
So using my imagination is conclusive, basically. Yeah,
that's the NHL standard now. That actually does sound like about right for the NHL.
I mean, Wolf still gets the win. His record is outstanding at home.
2 losses on the season.
He's like what, 8-2 and 1 or something at home now?
6-2-1. 6-2-1. Pretty good. Pretty good for a guy who's too small, apparently.
You threw this up midweek, or was this after the shutout?
This would have been after the shutout. Yeah.
This is Money Puck.
Yeah.
Do you want to go through these numbers?
Sure. I don't know if they've probably changed a little bit since then. I can pull them up again. But dude, I guess they've changed a little bit, but he's still top 15. Currently 14th in goals saved above expected total. So that would be weighing in the shot quality.
He was 5th in goals saved above expected per 60.
Yeah, he's now 11th. I guess some other goalies had a couple big games, but he's still top 15 in both of those shot quality categories. If you're talking about save percentage, I think he has the best. He's tied for the best 5-on-5 save percentage.
Yep.
In the league.
I think I saw that top in the league.
Amongst goalies who have played, I think, over 6 games?
Yep.
Is that good?
I don't know. He's kind of small, though.
Is that good?
We'll see.
I think that's pretty good. I don't know. He's like only 6 feet tall, so like that's a big factor. Anthony Stolarz and Dustin Wolf sit atop the league in 5-on-5 save percentage at .955. .955.
Tied for first. This is 5-on-5.
More impressively is that he's 3rd in high danger percentage at 5-on-5, behind only Cam Talbot and the kid in Carolina. 3rd in high danger save percentage. .884 high danger save percentage at 5-on-5. Dude, this kid is for real.
Well, before before the game against the Predators, there's natural stat trick. Wolf and Vladar are the best combined 5-on-5 save percentage tandem in the league. We're getting the best goaltending in the league currently, is what we're saying here. And Vladar hasn't even been that great lately. Then you got fucking Cooley, who has he is actually number
He's
one
on
in the save
fire,
percentage. He's leading the AHL in save percentage.
Does he have 9 wins or something?
Do you dangle a goaltender at this point?
I think you'd be dangling Vladar for sure.
But is Conroy? I mean, I sent you this article earlier. Every week before we jump on this thing, I'll do a quick little Calgary Flames news Google search and just see what people are saying. Former forward causing trade complications for the Flames. This is the Monahan trade.
Causing complications. He's causing me to be depressed all the time. That's what's happening. Not Monahan, obviously. That trade is causing me to be depressed. I was watching the last episode. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what is wrong? I'm just like moping the whole time, dude. I'm just like,
hey, you missed the old days, man. Chuck, Johnny, Monty.
It is true.
Sam.
I understand how people
Gio.
get like stuck in the past.
But in this article, basically, it's, the Flames are off to a hot start. Conroy would like to potentially add if the Flames, stay on the same pace that they're at. But the implications of not knowing if you're going to still have that first round pick that at this rate is likely to go to Montreal if the Flames finish anywhere better than bottom 10. So it's still in the conversation of do we want to add? So I don't know if he's shopping Vladar right now. Because now there's articles saying that Connie wants to add. I mean, 2 weeks ago it was, oh yeah, we're looking for a center to add. At least in the article, it did say that Conroy, if he does add it, it sounds like he knows it's got to be a young guy. He's not going to add veteran depth. So at least we got that going for us.
Yeah, and I think that was confirmed last year because that was a very hand-wringing thing. Like, are the Flames going to try to like not only expedite the rebuild, but like really expedite it by adding older players? Like, I remember that was the big concern with the Lindholm trade when it came out that Kuzmenko was coming back. I was like, okay, this better not be like a 1-for-1 swap. And there was none of that funny business from Craig last year. I don't expect there to continue to be this year. I don't see them going out trading for anyone. I think it'll be pretty much exactly how it played out last year, obviously with a little bit less of a sell-off at the deadline where you're not wholesaling everybody.
So
because boy, do those moves look good. Look how Boston's enjoying Elias Lindholm right now. Eh?
Yeah,
look how
Zadorov.
Boston's enjoying Nikita Zadorov even right now.
Boston they're not doing well.
They're not doing well, and neither is Lindholm.
Igor Shesterkin, this was, I think a couple days ago. It might have been yesterday. Dude, Shesterkin is rocking a 2.78 goals against average. Dustin Wolf is rocking a 2.53 goals against average. Shesterkin has 12 games played, 7 wins, 1 shutout. Wolf has 9 games played, 6 wins, 1 shutout. Shesterkin's rocking a 914 save percentage. Dustin Wolf, 921. This is our fucking teeny, tiny, too small to play. Draft him in the 4th round. Nobody wants him.
4th round? Dude, he was like the last pick. What was it, 7th round? 2019, 2018? Sat there all day. They're finally like, round? Oh, man.
It was 7th round?
Let's pick this guy.
Yeah, let's take a shot at it. Boy, did that
Sitting
pay
there
off,
all day.
Boy, did that pay off.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. He's been like, over the years, you keep hearing these things about, like, is his confidence going to be okay? Oh, we don't want to bring him up because we don't want him to get shelled because of his confidence. Is he going to be this guy is a beast. This guy has been sitting, like, if you ever watch the show Daredevil, when, like, the Kingpin gets put in jail and he just, like, sits down and, like, is staring at the wall and is just, like, locked in and just thinking about how he's going to get his revenge for the people who put him there. That's like been Dustin Wolf for the past 7-8 years. You're too small. You're too small. You're too small. You're the best goalie in the Western Hockey League, but you're going to get picked like dead last overall. You're going to sit there all day. You think sitting there all day through the draft, just sitting there, not being picked, not being picked, not being picked, sitting there, you think that didn't have an effect on him? And then still, you're too small, blah, blah, blah. The dude is locked in. He's locked the fuck in.
Fuck is he locked the fuck in? And there's Cooley rocking a 9.53 save percentage in the AHL. We haven't seen him really play much in the NHL. I don't see when we would, because unless Vladar or Wolf gets injured, why the hell would you call him up at this point? Is that a risk you would want to take? What could you get for Vladar on the open market currently?
I doubt very much.
So you'd want to wait till deadline anyways.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I don't think you're in any rush if Cooley's in a groove.
And Vladar's got another year after this one on his contract.
And like, not that Vladar's been getting the wins or necessarily playing like incredibly outstanding, but he has been a lot better than last year. Yep. And it seems the surgery has improved his game greatly. So he's been playing well. Like, if you still have a good goalie there, you don't just want to dump him for nothing.
So if you're Connery, what's the best strategy here? You got 3 real competent looking goaltenders. You're year one of a rebuild. You're not trying to win this. I guess we are. We are trying to win this year, aren't we?
Don Maloney. Never forget. Dan Vladar is a UFA at the end of the season, so that probably weighs into if you're going to be retaining his services or trading him or not. I say the plan is kind of what we've been saying is like, okay, like, as good as Vladar has been, even though you may want to dangle him, now is the time to start. Wolf should be getting more starts now. Now is the time to start ramping it up.
Well, has he at this point, and I'm talking to the mainstream here because we've been banging the Wolf drum going back pretty much all last season, but has he proven that he can now be at least a 1B guy? Has he proven to the rest of the league? Is it a big enough sample size for everybody? Or do they want to wait and see?
I don't know. I think I don't know. There's still a lot of like, let's see where he's at in 3 months. People who are like Wolf doubters. 6-2-1, 2.53 goals against, 921 save percentage. A month into the season. Yeah. I think 10 games, 9 games is a pretty good sample, especially going back to last year. Like, what's his record going back to last year? He's lost 3 in the last 14?
Dude, he's so solid that both the LA Kings game and the Predators game, it's like you are gonna have a hard time beating him on a nightly basis. Like, he's not easy to beat. He's so fast. Covers so much. He covers the bottom 2/3 of the net. Maybe just about as good as anybody in the league.
Well, dude, I was listening to the Nick Kiprio's show on Sportsnet, had Steve Valiquette of CSA Hockey, Clearsight Analytics Hockey, which is a phenomenal website. They do a lot of private data, but there's some publicly available stuff. Anyways, he's a former goalie. He was talking about Wolf, and he's like, that kid might be, other than Henrik, he was like, okay, other than Lundqvist, probably the fastest goalie I have ever seen in the NHL. That's insane. And it's true. Like, that save he made on Stamkos, a lot of these saves he's making are just like, they don't necessarily look amazing, on first glance.
Makes it look easy.
The replay, and it's like, that save he made on Stamkos in close against Nashville was insane.
Well, the way he just eats the angle away. It's not even like he has to make a desperation save because he reduces the angle. He comes out, half a foot in a matter of split second. And now Stamkos doesn't have. He didn't even really let him release the shot much.
He absorbed it, and he was so fast, and that looked like, because I was wondering, I was like, how the fuck did he stop that? That was crazy.
There's that other play where did it come off of a breakaway, and then the Nashville guy had a rebound all alone in front.
Yeah, and he was trying to outweigh Wolf,
Wolf just stuck his toe out there. He poke checked him with his toe. I've never seen this before.
His tracking and his patience and his quickness, it's pretty incredible athleticism to see him like have this, like be like this in the NHL. So we all kind of thought it was there, but you never really know until you get a proper run in the NHL. And this is crazy, dude. Like we have never since what, Mike Vernon had a drafted, developed star goalie. It's crazy. This is unprecedented times.
Well, this is honestly what I predicted would happen.
Oh yeah, I mean, we were
Why?
thinking we would see this last
Based
year, but
on pedigree.
not surprised at all. Pedigree,
Based on pedigree.
nailed it.
Just alone, not even based on what I've seen from him ever play.
Well, dude, like it was kind of funny. I heard on the broadcast that Kelly was like, "Oh, I don't know what happened. Like he flipped a switch." I was like,
Yes,
"Flipped a
I heard
switch,
that too.
Bro? What are you
More
talking
like he
about?
fucking got playing time.
More like he got more than like 2 games
Yeah.
over the course of like 2 months in the NHL. Like, there's no flip switching. He's been amazing at the WHL level. He's been unbelievable at the AHL level,
Yep.
and now he's doing it at the NHL level. There's no flip switching. This is just a
I
natural
know.
progression of a guy who has been absolutely phenomenal as a netminder in every single league he's played in.
Yeah. It's funny you brought that up because I thought the exact same thing when Kelly said that. And I even thought it a bit further too. I thought about Coronado making the same exact argument.
Yeah.
And this goes back to, you know, what you've been talking about the last couple episodes. The real best players in the league, they're going to develop in the show, in the NHL. Not going to develop in the AHL. There's guys that spend their entire careers in the AHL and are never good enough for the NHL. So this whole like, oh, it's the best place to develop. No, it's not. For some players, sure it is. If they're not ready for the NHL, legitimately. But if guys are right fucking there at the age they are, like Coronado and Wolf, that means play them in the fucking NHL. That's where they're going to figure it out. That's where they're going to develop.
Yeah. And that's something Valakat said too. Steve Valakat, they were asking him like, is he playing well because he's been cooking in the AHL so long? And he was kind of like, I don't think so, just because of like what you said, the pedigree, right? He's been
cooking forever.
He absolutely dominated that league.
He cooks wherever he plays.
So I think we made the argument we probably should have seen him up more regularly last year for sure. As evidenced by the fact that Vladar and Wolf both have a better save percentage than Jacob Markstrom at the moment. So
yep.
I'm really glad I get to watch like 50 billion games of Markstrom last year down the stretch when we were nowhere close to playoffs. That was great.
And sometimes we might sound like a broken record, but if we're going to continue making the same mistakes, then we're going to continue talking about them.
Anyways, I am absolutely, dude, it's
How
the
about
number
Coronado?
one.
It's like you watch Coronado now, like the last 5 games, you're like,
oh yeah, fuck,
this
good,
guy
eh?
is one of our best players. I don't want to ever not see him on this roster as long as he's got a contract. And it's all he needed was some fucking more playing time.
Little bit of runway and you're ready to go. So that should be the plan. I don't really care about, not that I don't care. I don't care about Vladar that much.
I don't. Trade his ass.
Yeah, like Wolf all the way. Wolf should be getting it's time to stop alternating starts probably. And even alternating like, oh, if you win, you get another start. It should just be like, okay, Wolf gets 2, Vladar gets 1. Maybe mix him in a little bit more than you would a 1A, 1B, but it should be Wolf should get a bit of a run here at this point. Which
we don't need to put a governor on his fucking development right now. Let him dictate how fast, how slow he needs to develop in the NHL. Keep playing him. If he starts to falter a bit, play with R for a bit. Yeah. You should just be starting to. I don't know. There's no reason to take this slow anymore, is there?
Dude, it's been a way. I think we are both in agreement that has been too slow of a burn already. So yeah, I agree.
So then this comes back to this conversation of if you're Craig Conroy, and I just want you to tell me what you would do right now with this goaltending situation. You got Wolf starting to make a name for himself in the NHL. He should be in the Calder conversation. You got Dan Vladar, who
Is he not the Calder leader? I'd say he's right there. Michkov, Wolf. Who's the other kid who's got a lot of points? I don't remember, but Wolf should be 1 or 2 or 3.
you got Dan Vladar is a very competent NHL goalie who could make a team like the Oilers better. You have, is it Dustin Cooley?
Well, you'd having like old Skinner's performance.
I fucking loved old Skinner's
great.
performance. The last thing I've seen is for expected goals against, Edmonton's like actually tops in the league defensively. They're one of the best defensive teams.
Yeah,
they just have the league's worst goaltending. So no, I think
by money puck he's dead. Yeah, he's dead last in goal save above expected. Skinner, Georgiev, Ingram are the bottom 3 by money puck's model. Beautiful.
It's Dustin Cooley.
Devin
Cooley. Devin Cooley is absolutely cooking in the AHL. Now, this is one of those things where I'd say you'd be a bit more careful of because you don't necessarily know what he's going to be like in the NHL. But we're in year 1 of a rebuild, so maybe I don't give a shit. What would you do if you're Craig Connery with this goaltending situation right now? You got 3 goalies.
At this point, it's all gravy. I'm not touching it. Like I said, I would be, which is more of a coaching thing. Wolf ramping up his starts more, but I think at this point you're letting Vladar cook as well a little bit too, because his value, if he plays decently well, which he has been, is only going to maybe go up if another team gets kind of desperate or if another team needs a goalie. And I don't think there's anything to lose by holding on to him for now.
So your play is to keep letting Dustin Wolf play as many games as he'll give you, as long as he continues to develop, and then make sure Vladar's getting enough starts so that you can shop around at the deadline. You want to see what you can get for him this year.
Well, and I think too, like having Vladar there.
Or do you want him again next season? Or do you want to go with Wolf and Cooley next season?
Yeah, next season, whatever. The fact that Vladar needs to earn a contract for next year too is probably helpful because that's going to be pushing him to push Wolf too. Because while you want Wolf to still be playing, you don't want him to just be like handed games by default necessarily. So I think it's just a really good situation right now.
Okay, but are you trying to get something in return for Vladar this season?
I would if there's a market, but I'm skeptical unless it's like the Oilers or maybe the Avalanche freaking out. And it feels like a Stanley Cup contending team. Like if you really need a goalie, are you going to go Dan Vladar? I don't know. So I would 100 billion% be willing to trade him. I just don't know if there's much of a market for him. There maybe is a little bit, but I'd be surprised.
But is he a type of guy that if he does continue to play well this season, he's probably going to go test free agency, right?
Yeah, he's 27.
So if you're going to likely lose him anyways, do you really care so much what the return is this season?
I don't care I'd be happy with anything. I just don't know if anybody would even be willing. Like, what are you willing to give up for possibly a backup type goalie? Well, unless you're Bradtree living and you want to collect,
you would be able to get more than
shit at the deadline.
You'd probably be able to get more than you could for Cooley, but all right, well, we'll see how that continues to progress. I'm in the same boat, man. I think you keep pushing the envelope with Wolf. Let him dictate to you. Enough of this, like, oh yeah,
we've got a plan. We got a plan. Take it slow.
Take it so delicately with him. No, the slow burn's been slow enough as it is. Let Dustin Wolf tell you how fast or slow to continue to develop him. Let's just stay on this kind of prospect train right now because Henry Muse is having an incredible start to the season.
Dude, he's been phenomenal.
I think it
was 67s.
Was it Gould that tweeted this? Oh no, it was the Western Hockey Scout.
Pete Hughes, I think is his name. Not affiliated, but he's just like he used to be a scout or something. He's got a good Twitter follow for
Pete Hughes. Really good Twitter follow. Western Hockey Scout on Twitter. Muse is having an incredible start to the season. His tweet literally he says he thinks Muse has potentially more upside than Zane Parekh. Muse going 74 picks after Parekh doesn't make any sense to him. Connery can win/lose any trade, but if he keeps drafting like this, he puts up some of the draft class here. This is defenseman leading in the CHL.
Yeah.
Must be all CHL.
Yeah, all
Sam
CHL.
Dickinson is first, and then Zane Parekh second. He's got 6 goals and 17 points in 18 games, and Henry Muse is right behind him with 5 goals, 2 points less, 5 goals, same point total, 5 goals and 18 assists in 19 games.
Yeah, both
So
have 23 points in the O.
We currently have 2 of the top 3 scoring defensemen in the CHL.
Well, and I think that's a good point because, listen, I've been definitely like blackpilling lately, like being super depressed and bummed out and kind of a pouty pants. I don't know why. I don't know. It's been a weird. I was at the New Jersey game, and I was
because
just
you're supposed. It's because the organization's telling you you're supposed to be cheering for this team success this year. That's why.
Yeah, and I just keep seeing. I keep seeing that draft pick, and I don't want to lose that fucking draft pick. And I know there's some good magic, and it'd be cool if we made it, but fuck, I want that draft pick because, like Buddy just said, like if you keep nailing these picks, right? I think that's more important than even just having necessarily a high pick is to continue to have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drafts in a row that are like what you just had. Super deep, lots of picks, gives yourself as many swings as you possibly can. Please don't lose that draft pick.
Adar Suniev is also lighting it up, and then there's Trevor Hoskin. We got some prospects doing well. Somebody tweeted this. I think it was, I can't remember who it was. But this year's World Juniors, there's going to be quite a few Flames.
Yeah, which is awesome because as we all know, there's usually no Flames to ever watch. One. It's just like, and he's usually like, oh yeah, he's like scratched tonight. It's never a Flames centric event because we generally never have the prospects available to us. But yeah, I just wanted to finish up on Henry Muse stats this year. What did he have? He scored on Friday. He scored again. I think he scored twice, and he had 4 points. 4 points against Owen Sound on Sunday. Huge game. He's having a huge season.
Anyone else in the prospectus you want to touch on? I know you keep suggesting maybe it's time to see Pelletier called up again.
Yeah, I just see the lineup, and it's like, oh, Justin Kirkland is still the leader in 5 points, right? And
well, now like, you got Rooney playing the wing now.
Yeah, and it's just like every time I see the lines in the lineup, I'm like, hey, you're telling me you really can't fit Pelletier, and you really can't get Peltz a shot here. You can't get him into the lineup for 25. You can't see what
Cairns can do right now in the NHL.
Even like Walker do it. Like you can't get some of these guys. Just be like, okay, like let's see if we have players. Like let's give them some runway here. Like let's get some of these young guys in. You know what I mean? I'm just saying it's a pretty weak team. There's a lot of problems being able to score goals. Could you get maybe some of these skilled young guys up here just to like see, like when Justin Kirkland's leading your team, I don't know if he still is. I think he probably still is. When Justin Kirkland is leading your team in 5-on-5 scoring, I think it's a sign that maybe your roster is a bit thin, and you could maybe afford to call up some players.
As Ian Clark posted on Twitter, the following Flames veterans are on pace.
Yeah,
for the following point totals. Huberto's on pace for 48 points.
Hey, it's comeback season. What are you talking about?
Kuzmenko's on pace for 43 points. Backlund's on pace for 43 points. Kadri is on pace for 39 points. Coleman's on pace for 39 points. Sharon Govich on pace for 15 points.
Ooh. Yikes.
When you look
Rasmus at that, Anderson is the only player who's on pace to score more than 50 points.
When you see how the veterans are doing in this lineup.
Yes.
When you look at Kirkland still the 5-on-5 leader with Rooney on the wing, you're telling me why? You can't
that's what I'm saying is like it just seems like a perfect time to maybe get one of these younger players.
No. Connie's on the trade market, man. He wants to add.
Kind of like last year when it was like, holy fuck, this is really awful to watch. And you put Zarian Possible in the lineup and infuse some skill, and it was actually pretty fun to watch for a while.
When you can't score a 5-on-3 power play goal if your life depended on it.
Holy shit, dude. That's got to be that. Okay, I know we've complained a lot about the Flames power play over the years. That's the worst 5-on-3 I've ever seen in my life. with
No,
some
they
absolutely classic Huberdeau plays on that. That was great.
oh yeah. Just the thing is, like, if you really sit there and you watch that, as soon as Huberdeau gets the puck, he's like,
What do I do with it?
where on the perimeter am I gonna move this to? And I'm gonna take 5 seconds to do it too. That's as long as I don't fucking fumble it and give it away.
Whoops.
But dude, the entire 2 minutes, did you see one cross ice pass on a 5-on-3?
Dude, I saw nothing. Nothing happened. Did they get a shot? I think they had one shot.
Just passing it around the perimeter.
It
Seriously,
was
Huberdeau gets it, and I
unreal.
still don't understand why he's the setup man. I don't see why he's the funnel for playmaking, for play driving on the power play.
He's the best passer this organization's ever
Like,
had.
if you watch the Oilers, for example, if let's say it's Draisaitl in Huberdeau's spot, because that's kind of where he is. As soon as Draisaitl gets the puck, he starts inching towards the net, and he's like, I'm going to shoot this fucking thing, so you better take my lane away. And if you don't, he'll just shoot it. And if you do take the lane away, then he moves the puck. Huberdeau's just like, I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to skate up the fucking
nice and slow too.
I'm going to skate up the boards towards the thing, or towards the blue line. Take the play away from the danger areas. And then I will never not even attempt a cross ice pass.
I don't know how they managed to turn, which looked like one of the positives heading into the season because of how well it ended last year. I don't know how they managed to just
because they were funneling it through Kuzmenko.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it's Kuzmenko
in Huberdeau's spot.
Huberdeau is now.
I know we don't have Savard anymore, and the Leafs power play is in the shitter, but who watched the Flames power play be top of the league in the last month of the season and thought, yeah, let's not have it run through Kuzi?
Dude, you could just take Huberdeau off that and put anybody else on there and run the exact same setup, and you'd have more success instantly. That's my prediction.
Roy Kearns is currently 4th in AHL scoring with 17 points, 13 of those being goals. He leads the league in goals. Walker Dewar is currently 8th in scoring in the AHL, 16 points, 9 of those being goals. Jacob Pelche is 11th with 16 points, 14 assists. I'm just saying, we could maybe use some of that youthful exuberance and a little bit of speed and a little bit of finishing and a little bit of skill. I don't understand. Yeah.
Well, and like we always say this, man, it's like always twofold. It's not only like, oh, you could use it. Also, it's like you need to develop these guys. You got to see what your draft picks are like in the NHL. You don't need to keep playing these vets in favor of potential developing draft picks.
Yeah, what's the purpose of throwing the Rune Dog out there every single night? Is there a purpose behind that? He's a good guy. He's good in the room. What's the point of the season? Always ground yourself in what is the point of this season?
Anybody else on the prospect list? You want to touch on?
In the OHL, I mean, Luke Misa had a nice week. He scored the game-winning goal on Friday against Barrie. He's been really good. He had 4 straight multi-point games this past week, so he's been really good. Obviously, Zane is freaking ripping. He had 8 points over his last 3 games.
Sick.
So that's pretty sweet. Like you said, Adar Sunyev at UMass had a great weekend, 4 points over 2 games. And then the one other guy was, I think, Cade Littler. Not that he's one of like our high-end guys, but he had 2 goals and an assist for North Dakota. So, hey, man, whenever I'm feeling glum, which has been a lot lately, I don't know what's going on. I'm in a funk, but shifting over to the prospects page always cheers me up a little bit.
Feeling glum, chum?
Oh, and what's his Battaglia? Jacob Battaglia on fire, dude. Dude, Jacob Battaglia, 31 points.
Holy shit, dude.
He's got 31 points. He had 2 assists on Friday against Owen Sound, another assist on Saturday. 14 goals, 17 assists this season.
Just on a 3-point per game pace. That's just insane.
Absolutely tearing it up.
All right, this segment is brought to you by Bet365, proud partner of Flames Nation. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. Use code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Let's just take a look-see ahead here on the schedule. So you got the Islanders Tuesday, Rangers Thursday, and the Minnesota Wild. This is the most boring opponent ever to come into the Dome.
Dude, this harkens back to the freaking Northwest Division days in the 2000s when they'd play them 8 times a year. You remember that? And it was like Minnesota on a Tuesday in
Afternoon,
November.
no less.
Kill me now. You couldn't pay me to watch this game. You couldn't pay me. I think my friend is going. But
don't you want to drive into the Dome on Deerfoot Blizzard on 2 o'clock to see Minnesota and come to town?
Oh. That sounds like the worst way to spend a Saturday.
So what do you think? Now, if you're gonna bet on an anytime goal scorer, I usually like typical. There's always like a typical Flames killer on majority of teams. I'm just trying to think. Maybe Kaprizov, if you're gonna have anytime goal scorer against the Wild, or Coronado's probably due for another goal. Sharky potentially. Huberdeau.
Hey, he hit the post, dude. He shot. Was that the first time he shot on a 2-on-1?
Dude, when I was watching that, I'm like, there's no way. Like, you see him do a nice little dangle and create a 2-on-1. You're like, oh, he's going to pass it. He's going to pass it. He's going to pass it. The defenseman took away the passing lane. That's the only reason why I shot.
Daryl was just.
He sure shows why it's worth trying to shoot it once in a while. Beats the goaltender, hits the crossbar. Screw it. I'm going to say Huberdeau.
Oh my!
Anytime goal scorer. My new favorite player. Not really. Anytime goal scorer against the Wild. You pick one.
I'll say Matt Bold. I'm going to take Matt Boldy because he's having a great season and I like his game a lot. I mean, that's a pretty easy one. Yeah, I'm going to go Boldy. I'm going to go the B-Dog.
All right, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with Bet365. All right, man, we finished the week 2-1. You beat the Kings on the Prime broadcast.
Holy shit, by the way.
Amazing broadcast, and I think that was maybe the Flames' best game of the season so far. That was a good game.
Both, and true to both. Exactly. The broadcast was phenomenal, and that was easily the Flames' best performance of the season, 60 minutes wise. They played extremely well.
Yeah. Wolf, like we mentioned earlier, all intents and purposes, that's another shutout. Just doesn't get credit for that one. We talked about the goal. Unbelievable that doesn't count.
That was unbelievable.
Miramana's been playing better.
Yeah, he's looked really good.
Obviously, he gets you the game-winning goal against Nashville. Pospisil's been looking better this week. He's starting to kind of turn things around. Let's talk about the lineups or the lines. Huska's maybe not going so trigger happy on the juggling lately.
Which has been good. I think that's
Coronado's
played a couple nice games.
I still think, man, just leave Coronado there all season. Because now Coronado, if you noticed, Preds game specifically, now that he's on the back line, he's getting those final minutes when the other team's goalie's pulled on the defensive end of the game. He's learning a shit ton, man, playing with those two guys.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like maybe it's sometimes too much for him, but like we said last week, this is the time, this is the year to be putting these guys in places where, hey, maybe you make a mistake in a big moment, but you're out there in the big moments, and that's huge for a lot of these kids. That's where you learn.
So the lines and pairing in practice today, you got Huberdeau. Zari's moved back to center. We should touch on that too.
Yeah.
So Zari's centering Huberdeau and Sharangovich. Was that the last 2 games they did that, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember what the lineups were against the
Well, in
Kings.
Van, I don't know. I missed most of the Vancouver game, so I don't remember. But Zary was playing center last game.
Yeah. So you kind of like to see that, especially, I mean, this management talks nonstop about how they want. They're out there shopping for a center. You might have
a fucking center, bro.
Even Coronado's played. He would be a good center. He kind of has Tavares vibes, doesn't he? Does Coronado not give you John Tavares vibes?
Yeah, like that. I think he's a little quicker, maybe. Well, does he have Flames bed sheet? Does he have any team's bed sheets we need to be aware of? Hopefully not.
It would be an American team.
Hopefully
Where'd
not.
he grow up?
Hopefully no Buffalo. Hopefully they don't Buffalo bed sheets. He's from New York, isn't he? Hopefully, no Buffalo or Rangers bed sheets for Matt Coronado, or we are screwed.
Pospisil with Kadri and Kuzmenko. It's nice to see Pospisil. Man, he had like so many. We have a fight, right? Didn't he fight? No, that was Uyghur. No, who fought?
All I can remember is
Pahal fought.
Pahal fought, yeah. Pahal fought in the Nashville game because that was sweet.
I think there was 2 fights, though, wasn't there? Anyways,
Kirkland fought. Kirkland fought in Vancouver, I think.
Or was it a hit that Pospisil made that started a fight?
Probably.
Anyways, Pospisil looks like he's back.
Yeah, he's been better. Which, you know what, playing with him and Kadri, dude, Kadri, I don't know if we wanted to discuss Kadri. He's really having a shitty season, but I mean, Kuzmenko is too. But I saw Flames Nation Bobby Munich. He just threw up some Kadri analysis today.
What's he saying?
Here's where he ranks defensive metrics among 13 Flames forwards. And this is what I was referencing a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about how annoying it is that he's been on in overtime, because he's been terrible in overtime. He's been a defensive liability, turning the puck over all the time.
And you put him on there with Huberdeau. Like, what are you doing, coach?
Yeah, it's just a recipe for disaster. And he's getting outscored, outshot all the time. So Kadri this season, 5-on-5 metrics. Expected goals for 42.84%. He's 10th of 13 forwards who have played more than 70 minutes. Scoring chances for, he is 12th. High danger chances for percentage, he's dead last on the team, on the forwards.
Wow.
Goals for, dead last. Goals for versus goals against on the ice. He's been on the ice for 5 goals for at 5-on-5, 9 against.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeesh, he's been really bad. He's like, and I think that's probably why Kuzmenko hasn't been going either. So I don't know.
Well, maybe you want to try that line with Zari and Pospisil again if you want to get Kadri going. Choose his stats. Do you still? I bet you the rest of the league has not caught on to how bad his season is this season. Maybe.
Totally.
Is there still a trade value there, you think?
Pedigree, yeah. But when a guy has been an absolute nightmare defensively and is on point for what, 40 points? Whoa.
So the Kings Prime broadcast, you had something to say about this, eh?
Well, dude, how good was that broadcast?
Dude, it was awesome.
That was like throwback to Hockey Night in Canada style broadcast.
And I mean, how many of these Prime broadcasts are they going to have for the Flames this season? Is it just one?
I think there's maybe like one more.
So you get it. Are they doing all 82 teams? Like how many? I don't really know.
I think so. I know the Flames have one coming up against Ottawa, but I don't know much further than that.
So I guess it's what I'm saying is it's easier to knock it out of the park because you can fit so much into one broadcast because you're just doing 1 or 2 for the season. But fuck, that was great, dude.
The production value was great. It was everything that you're missing from a regular hockey broadcast.
Yeah,
right?
Did they talk about McDavid and Draisaitl the entire game? You still had him on the commercials, but
here's the difference. Prime. We go to or intermission. Here's like 3 features in a Flames game. Here's like 3 features on Rasmus Anderson, Michael Backlund, Blake Coleman. Here's some cool Calgary Flames awesome content. Here you go. Sportsnet. All right, the Flames are leading the Kings 2-0. Can we pull up those McDavid highlights from 2 weeks ago? Also, we had a little Ron McLean actually wants to read a poem he wrote for Evan Bouchard. It's an original sonnet, 14-line sonnet. Okay, I guess the Flames' third period's on. Yeah, let's go back to that.
Yeah, that was good.
There was no Oilers talk. It was great. And the production value was great. The replays were great. The commentary was great. The whole thing was great.
Somebody was mentioning about like the crowd volume or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. They don't filter out the crowd volume. It drives me nuts.
I thought it was a much better overall broadcast, and not even because I hate the Oilers and I don't want to hear and see about them every 2 seconds. Just as a whole.
Yeah, it was great.
Production value was better. Video quality was better. Audio quality, like everything. Content.
It was excellent. And the game
was I don't want to hear about Kelly Rudy being shocked that Dustin Wolf is playing so well.
Yeah, light went off. He had an
Oh,
aha moment. What? He's been the
oh.
best goalie prospect in the league for like 5 years.
So Flames increased their winning percentage from last week. 583 winning percentage, currently still top the wild card spot. But everybody's starting to catch up to them, aren't they? Oilers are right there. Has Colorado turned it around yet?
Well, I think the thing that you're looking at even more than the standings is like the underlying numbers, which
Yes. Let's do
outside
this.
of the goaltending
Oh,
have been pretty terrible. And it's kind of like what we saw last year. Like, remember when it was like, holy shit, the Flames, how are they winning any games? How are they even kind of still in this? And it was like, because Markstrom was just like playing really well for the first 20 games. That's kind of what's going on again. It's like Wolf's been just so good, and Vladar too, right?
yep.
That, I mean, like you said, they've played some good games. The LA game was really good. The Nashville game, they played really well. But, you know, the Oilers are catching up to them. What are they, a point behind? Same record. The Oilers have just lost one more game in regulation.
Seattle's right there.
Seattle's right
Colorado's
there. The
right
Avs have turned it
there.
around.
Utah's right there. Do you think we're better than St. Louis?
Dude, there's a lot of mid going on in the Western Conference, eh?
So much mid, dude.
It's like everybody's last 10 record is like, even the bet, like Vegas is 6-3-1, LA's 5-4-1, Seattle's 5-5, Avs 5-5, Utah 3-5-2. Like, there's a lot of mid. we really might be losing this draft pick this year if Wolf keeps going, eh?
Okay, but here's the conversation I wanted to have about this, because I knew this was going to happen. Because you're sitting there and you're like, fuck, man, he is legitimately good. This is why it's just like, let's push a few more of the Wolf chips into the pot here. Let's give him some more consecutive starts. Let's see if he can continue doing what he's doing. Let's see if he can even build on what he's doing. How good is this guy? What is his ceiling?
Yeah.
Like, if he legitimately is, dude, did Carey Price put up the same numbers that Wolf did prior to playing in the NHL?
That's freaking old.
Did
I remember from Carey
did
Price
he
is being
win?
amazing in the World Juniors.
Did he win as many as awards as Dustin
Well,
Wolf?
Wolf has like the awards cabinet of freaking
I don't
AHLW.
recall.
Like, it's
I don't
insane.
recall a goaltender that has that stock full of cupboard of awards.
He's got the most. He's like one of the most decorated goalie prospects I can remember.
So,
well, he's the only goalie to win. Has he won 2 MVPs in the AHL?
yeah,
But he's the only goalie to win back-to-back goalie of the year in the AHL.
I mean, we did a Dustin Wolf episode before the season, and we went through every single award. There's like 100 awards, dude.
Yeah, it's insane.
If you add up all the awards and accolades and records and all this shit, it's just like, there's no light that went on, Kelly. Pay attention. The guy's fucking good. That's why he's good right now, because he's good. And you're starting to see what he can do. You put him in the NHL. Let him develop here, please. Like the little saves we just mentioned. You're starting to see on a nightly basis, the stuff that he can do. He can win. He can win you games. He could easily be a star in this league. He has potential to be a superstar in this league. So you saw it with Kiprusoff and one other fucking player. He had 2 players, Kiprusoff and Iginla. And that was enough to take you to a Stanley Cup final. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, dude, if this guy is legit, what do we have on our hands? And does that speed up your rebuild? How does this change things? Because I'm not going to sit here and complain that Dustin Wolf's too good. We should play him less. He's too good. We're not going to finish low enough in the standings. No, we got to start going all in. If he's too good, you have to go the other way with it. You have to kind of change your course. Oh, fuck, we actually have a superstar in the making. I mean, I'm looking at Coronado. I'm like, there's no way this guy's not a perennial 40-goal scorer. 3 seasons from now, you look at you can tell the goal-scoring talent and ability he has. He will be a perennial 40-goal scorer, for 4 or 5 seasons at least. So you already have those 2 things. You got some epic prospects. I don't know if we're going to finish bottom 10, man. If Wolf keeps playing this way, how are we, dude? Right now, what are we overall in the league?
What are we, 13th or something?
You're not even mid. You're above mid.
You're a few spots above mid.
You're a few spots above mid, almost a quarter of the way into the season. Why? Because your goaltending has been outstanding. Look at the point. Look at what these veterans on pace for this season. What did you say? One player's on pace for over 50 points, and it's a defenseman?
And it's defenseman. Justin Kirkland leads.
That's how good the goaltending has been.
5 points.
That's how good the goaltending has been. I would say we're almost a quarter of the way into the season. The number one storyline is the goaltending. It's Dustin Wolf.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, dude. Especially lately, their numbers giving up chances, just possession-wise, have not been very good. And they have, the best save percentage, 5-on-5 in the league.
What's Dustin Wolf's contract status? We got to start talking about this.
He needs a new deal.
At the end of the season?
Yeah.
So, but he's already has entry level. Do you lock him up full term?
Let's bridge him.
Superstar in the making. Let's bridge him. We got to get Microfolique on this roster. We got to keep Roondog around. So let's bridge him.
Actually, my mistake. He's eligible to extend, but he does have another year on his deal next year.
So if you're Dustin Wolf and Dustin Wolf's camp, you're probably pushing for I'm not another show me year next season. Hopefully, if you're Conroy, you're maybe looking at a possible extension this season. Are you not? What would be the smarter thing to do?
I would lock him up as soon as humanly possible. If you have a chance, again, what's the mistake? We know how this goes. You don't fuck around when there are opportunities to lock in players who you think are going to be key members of your team for the next decade.
What about Zari? Time to lock him up.
100%. Yep.
What would you be comfortable giving Zari right now?
Well, if it was a bit of an overpay? Standard? I'd be giving him max term for sure. I know he's having it, but you always have to think, you think about these deals that teams like even the Coyotes made. It's the Brad Living effect where he didn't sign Kachuk, and now teams are preemptively signing, right? So it's like, well, he only had what? How many points is he on pace for this year? Like 30 something? But where's he going to be next year, 2 years, 3 years? Those are the years you're paying for. So would you sign him to a $56 million, 8 years, $7 million a year? I would. No problem. That's going to be a bargain in 5 years, probably. If you think he's a part of this team's future, then you absolutely do it. Like what did Gunther, what did Seth Jarvis get? I know he's a bit more, of a known quantity, but 22 years old, 8-year deal, $7.4 million. Dylan Gunther, 8 years, $7.1 million with Utah when he was 21. So I think you're looking in that $7 million range long term. I would absolutely be looking at doing that with Connor Zary.
And where is he currently at on his current deal?
Zary, I think his entry level ends this. I'm going to look it up real quick.
So he's up for another contract anyhow. So might as well give him max term now. Like you said,
you're not going to.
You know what the vision is. You know he fits into the vision. You might as well pay more now.
Exactly. It's not going to hurt you. Like, what is the downside of paying a player who his deal ends when he's 28, 29?
If he continues to progress, then it's going to do the opposite. He's going to be on a team-friendly deal in 3 to 5 years.
If you're overpaying him by that time, it's not going to be by very much. And the reward on that is that you're probably going to be getting an insane bargain.
So
Zary is in the final year of his ELC, yeah.
So at what point,
restricted free agent at the end of the season?
At what point does the topic of conversation shift? If you continue to get world-class goaltending, same thing, from Dustin Wolf in his rookie season, and you're looking at this guy's pedigree, and you're like, this guy's only probably going to get better. How do you manage this? You just ride it out, I guess, right?
I guess so. You still kind of have to. I don't know. You obviously have to stick to your vision because even like you look at where the Flames were in the last rebuild cycle, where they did have a legit superstar in Johnny Gaudreau, and he's 21, and they make the playoffs, and it was like fuck it, all gas, no brakes. We're going all in, rebuild done, and that ended up being a mistake. So you do still have you can't course correct too much.
Yep.
Like what did Dow like? Look at how Dow like what did Ottinger play his first? And I mean, maybe he's a bit overrated now, and maybe he got way overpaid. But he was 22 in his first half season, and then he was 23 the year he absolutely played out of his mind in the playoffs against us. So he's right around that kind of. If you're looking at it, Dallas was in a different spot though because they were still a good competitive team. But if you're looking at Dallas as a similar model, which we heard a lot about in the summer, they had Ottinger, but they also had guys like Stankoven and Wyatt Johnston, and they also had the other guys, superstar guys there like Heiskanen and Hintz. So you're still probably a few pieces away from being able to like course correct too much, even if Wolf is absolutely lights out.
Well, if he's good enough to prevent you finishing bottom 10, 12,
yeah,
then when do you start pushing more chips in the other direction? And I know we don't want to be mid. I know that's not the point, but it's one of those things where it's like he might be that good, dude. It's starting to look like it,
dude. What
like,
is this? This team is for sure a bottom 10 team without Dustin.
Like, what's the when you start getting into that goal saved above of expected category, then you're like, yeah, this guy's winning you 8 to 10 games extra a season. That's like 18 to 20 points in the standings. So if that's the case, do you bring in somebody? You go to free agency too. I got that Huberto contract forever. Eh?
Somebody posted a ticker, eh?
I think it was matchsticks and gasoline.
Yeah, that was great. It's just like 2,100 something days till the Huberto contract.
Somebody has commented like, "Do you guys have anything positive to say?" I'm like, "Oh, they must not like our podcast." But it's like one of those things. It's like, at what point do you just say, "Well, we're fucking not bad enough to be above mid again"? So do you go back to free agency and try and get somebody else that wins you an extra 8 to 10 games a season?
I think you wait until the new kids have arrived. Zeri and Coronado have been established.
New kids on the
Rek's
block.
been established. Bash is in. Like if 3 years, if Dustin Wolf is what 26, like how old was Jonathan Quick when he was like in his prime winning cups?
What, 26, 28, right?
I gotta look at this because Wolf is definitely.
Well, it's a good comparison. I think it's worth the time doing the comparison.
Yeah, he was like in 2012 when they won. He was 26. Then they win again in 2 years when he's 28. So not that that's a hard and fast rule, but if you're saying like the competitive window for Dustin Wolf to be an elite, absolutely elite goaltender, superstar goaltender is in 3 to 4 years from now.
How old is
Igor?
That
still matches up with your timeline.
How old's Shesterkin?
He's got to be like 28 or something. He was drafted in 2014. Dude, he's older than I thought. Oh.
He's currently in his prime. I think Quick was maybe on the younger side of, but he played so many games too, right?
Daryl just like played him. I mean, he wasn't that bad. His career high in games played was 68 in 2016.
He's still an effective goaltender, but
he was incredible. So I still think if Dustin, like your window is still 3 to 4 years from now to be okay. Now we are an elite team. We're hitting our stride and starting to become an elite team. You have to think by that point, Parekh would have played at least maybe 1 or 2 seasons. You'd have 2 or 3 more drafts, hopefully with some ready to go guys. Zeri, Coronado, like you're still 3 years out before you're hitting fucking the gas pedal.
And Shesterkin is how old now? Did you confirm
28,
this?
28.
Okay. So you know that you can still be at 28 pushing 30 and be a top goaltender in the league.
Well, goalies are weird because it's like...
Yeah, they're so voodoo, right?
Yeah, and it's like Cam Talbot's all of a sudden really good again? What's going on with that? Like, how old is he now? Like 50? Not quite, but he's been awesome. Jonathan, dude, even Quick has been great in New York still.
Yep.
So the goaltending life cycle is an odd one, and they don't necessarily have that window of like skaters where it's like, hey, 26, 24, 25, 26, 27 are their best years.
My whole point, then we can move on, because you've always heard this, like historically GMs want to build either from a 1C position, a top centerman, or a top fucking build it from the goaltender forward, right? If you can get a friggin' world-class goaltender. So I'm just like, dude, I'm already starting to see it in the making. I'm seeing Dustin Wolf becoming a world-class goaltender, a superstar in the making. I can see it happening, dude. That's
It's
the only reason
happening
why.
before our eyes,
It's
bro.
the only reason why they bring it up and why we want to have this conversation again, like you brought up, timeline. Keep pushing. If Dustin Wolf is going to be in his prime in 3 seasons from now, for let's call it 3 seasons as prime Dustin Wolf, that's when we want to try and compete for a Stanley Cup.
Yeah. Well, it's all about timing. It's all about the window. That's what Brad screwed up. Totally messed up on when to go in and when.
Oh, he was always in, dude.
It was all over.
Fucking elected to bridge and lose Matthew Tkachuk to have for leagues to be competitive that one season.
And exactly what Bill Zito did in Florida, which like he didn't do this through the draft. He did it through a lot of trading, but he still did it. Was he created a team with a cohort of guys who are all in that age group, right?
Yep.
Like obviously they're aging into it now, but like Tkachuk, Barkov, Reinhart, Bennett, Verhaeghe, Ekblad, Forsling, they're all in that same age group, and they're all going to be like in their primes together. And that's how he's created an absolute monster of a team who's gone to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals together. So timing and window and knowing when to go in and when to wait and what and how to grow your prospects together is just as important as actually drafting these players.
100%. Zari was awesome in the Kings game, just all over it.
Yeah, his points haven't been there. Maybe his underlying numbers haven't really been there this year, but he did like those flashes. Who did he dangle? Absolutely embarrassed that guy. Almost scored. Maybe that was.
Yeah, he probably should have shot it. I know he tried to dish the pass, and it was there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was a great play.
Yeah, the defender made a good little play.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, Sharon Golich, 2-0. Yeah, fucking shoot it, man.
He passed it. Oh, I thought it was Rooney at first. It was Coleman.
Passed it back.
Dude, Igor, you've got the absolute cannon. Rip that shit, bro.
Never pass the puck backwards, folks, on a 2-0. Never, ever fucking works.
See, this is why Daryl was so obsessed with shooting. It was just like, you got to get these idiots to shoot. Shoot!
Vancouver game was boring. Predators, they pull off the win. What did you think of this Reeves on Darnell Nurse hit?
Holy crap, dude. Oh. Like you said, you sent it to me and you're like, listen to it with without any commentary.
Just listen to it, man. The sound of it.
Ugh.
You don't even have to watch it. Just you can hear as a punishing hit, dude. A punishing hit. Obviously, you love to see it because it's an Oiler. It's Nurse. It's obviously it's dirty.
Yeah,
it's dirty. It's just a violent hit. Let's call it that. I don't know necessarily think it's dirty. It's a violent hit with a. What'd you expect to happen? A monster of a man coming around the net with his head down, targeted and steamrolled by another monster of a man. And the thing is that Nurse didn't even see him. When you don't see a fucking freight train,
that was absolute blindside. That was
insane. You at least need a split second to contract your body to at least try to protect yourself from what's coming. When you don't see it coming like that, you're fucked. Absolutely fucked.
Didn't see it coming.
It's kind of like Chucky on Cassian, eh?
Stay off.
Hey,
I guess he wasn't in the tracks, but
doesn't want to get hit like that. Should probably stay off the tracks. Keep your fucking head up.
Keep your head up.
I didn't catch a lot of the. Obviously, all these fans are complaining about the hit. There's there's definitely stuff to complain about, but
I
just
really enjoyed that
on
game
this.
because Evan Bouchard put on a
Oh,
freaking masterclass of defense in that game. It
I
was
think I
great.
saw that highlight on Twitter more than
Yeah,
the Reeves hit, to be honest.
yeah, he was doing his best Norse bit in that game. That was embarrassing. Give him a break. He's cross-eyed. What's he gonna do?
Yeah, what's he gonna do? He probably thought he was skating to the left, but it was just
Yeah,
the right.
exactly. He saw the puck go into the corner in his crossed eyes. I did want to mention that Jane Gaudreau tweeted out a little congratulations to Wolfie for his first career shutout. So that was cool.
That was
After
epic.
the Predators game. And that's what, like I said, I've been like down in the dumps over this draft pick. I don't know what's gotten into me lately. Well, I am negative in general, so it's pretty normal actually. But I have been like super like mopey. But you know what? I just got to remember these. If we make the playoffs from some Johnny Magic, who cares about some draft pick? Who cares about losing 16th, 17th overall?
Okay, well, you brought it up. It's your weekly pop quiz. It's not a pop quiz because you know what's coming. We're 9-6-3 after 18 games played. Still sit atop the first wild card spot. We have not really moved. The Flames add to their winning record last week, going 2-1. Does this team make the playoffs?
I'm still in the no category.
If Dustin Wolf continues to put together an unbelievable season and gets the majority of playing time for the other 3 quarters of the season, does this team make the playoffs?
I'm still in the no category.
If that happens, and
dude, nobody has more than like
Kuzmenko and Kadri,
well, yeah, there we go.
And Sharangovich start to normalize, does this, if those 3 things happen, does this team make the playoffs?
Probably, maybe they could squeak in, but that's a big if because nobody is scoring right now at all. So kind of a problem.
Hold on, I'm gonna forget seizure over here.
You are?
Yeah, see that light going off?
Oh no. Oh shit, what the heck?
Just seasoned.
Epilepsy.
Okay, sorry, you said if, then yes, we do. Kadri and
well, I mean, you're saying like if everything goes perfectly well and like Kadri starts scoring at 40 goal pace and Sharangovich scores at 30 goal pace again, like, well, yeah, probably, but I just don't know if those things are going to happen because like how far are we into the season? How many games did you say we've played?
We're basically a quarter. After this week, we're officially a quarter in.
I mean, I guess the weird heuristic is American Thanksgiving. If you're in the playoffs by American Thanksgiving, which is November 28th, so in like 10 days, usually you make the playoffs. I don't know if that's true. Everyone says that. I've never actually investigated that, but if they're still in the playoffs by then, like maybe, I don't know. I just don't see a team who has Justin Kirkland leading them in 5-on-5 scoring and Jonathan Huberdeau leading them in goals. I don't see that team making the playoffs.
All right, man. We didn't touch on this yet, but Anthony Mantha is done for the season. Is this another dodging of a bullet? Like, because now you're forced to play more young kids over vets. Is this a good thing?
I mean, it's shitty for him, obviously.
Well, obviously,
and
but
it's shitty for the asset. Like it would have been nice to be able to flip him, right?
Yep.
So that kind of sucks. But
he was playing decent enough. Probably you'd get something for the deadline. Yep.
They're still not playing any kids in front of him. Maybe Coronado's getting more time than he otherwise would.
He is.
But I would still like to see Pelche up. I'd still like to see Cairns, so. Old Emil, it was the hit from old Emil Heineman that blew his knee out, eh?
Of course it was, eh?
Of course it has a Flames trade. That Sam Bennett trade will never not hurt, eh?
When you don't do the right things, you get paid. You have to pay the piper, man.
Exactly. You
got it time and time again. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. We deserve it. All right, Matt. Closing thoughts.
No, I mean it's freaking awesome. Going to games and watching Wolf play is an absolute pleasure, man.
We got the Islanders, the Rangers, and the Wild this week. Do you win 2 out of 3? The Wild are playing well, aren't they?
You should be able to beat the Islanders. I think you should be able to beat the Wild. The Rangers will probably give you a good little spanking, though. Although they always do seem to play well against the Rangers when old dipshit
Foxy
Adam
comes
Fox
in.
is in town.
Hopefully, Huberdeau's agent will tweet again before the night for this Rangers game. We'll get peak Huberdeau for one more game. All right, well, that wraps things up for the week. And I guess we'll stay tuned and see what happens. After this week, we'll be officially into American Thanksgiving, so we'll see if this team is going to make the playoffs.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more of our content right here on the Flames Nation YouTube page. We had a bunch of great long-form interviews. You can check out some videos we've done as well outside of the studio. And of course, if you want more writing or merchandise stuff, flamesnation.ca or nationgear.ca. Appreciate you watching.